CBS 46 News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
In all of my lifetime, 51 years old, this is the first direct experience I've had with anti-Semitism. And it's on the rise. And I can't believe that it's hit this close to home. For me, my son attends Centennial High School, and it's frightening.
Parents tell CBS 46 that more than 100 Jewish students attend Centennial High School. They came to school to find swastikas spray painted all over the building. That was earlier this week in North Fulton County. Now, Centennial High School's principal, Anthony Newbold, sent out a letter admonishing hate symbols. He says he's already reached out to rabbis and synagogues. The Anti-Defamation League is leading efforts to support families through this, and they're planning to meet with the principal next week along with Mrs. Frank. Well, good morning and welcome to Public Affairs on Peach. I'm Karen Greer. Tackling hate in Metro Atlanta schools. That's just one of the topics that we are going to delve into this morning. Now, the FBI reports that hate crimes in this country rose 17% in 2017, with a 37% spike in crimes targeting Jews and Jewish institutions. The Anti-Defamation League finds anti-Semitic incidents rose 57% in 2017. And hate crimes, well, they're defined by the FBI as criminal offenses against a person or property motivated in whole or in part by an offender's bias against race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, ethnicity, gender, or even gender identity. And joining me now to talk about this issue is Lauren Menace from the Atlanta Initiative Against Anti-Semitism, and the parent you just saw as we started the show of a Centennial High School student, Wendy Frank, who's also lived in our community about 19 years. Wendy, have you ever seen anything like this?
I have never experienced this before. I've heard about it. This is the first personal experience I have had.
And, you know, we look at, with all that's been going on around the world, different incidents, Pittsburgh, 11 people killed in that synagogue incident. We always see it everywhere else. Can't imagine it being this close to home in our backyard.
Yeah, it was horrifying. It was absolutely horrifying. I was speechless. It took me several moments just to gather my thoughts. I was crying. It struck the very core of my being.
Interested to hear how your son reacted to this.
He was disappointed overall. That was his main emotion. Disappointed that his fellow peers or students, we don't know yet who actually has committed these acts of vandalism, disappointed in the community that he lives in and goes to school in, that there's still this hate and ignorance out there in the community.
Exactly. Now, Lauren, you helped organize a community-wide town hall meeting. Had nothing to do with this incident, was already planned before this happened. Why?
Actually, it wasn't planned before this happened.
Okay.
It was Monday night. I had seen on social media, I talked to Wendy, it had been all day long, and I just thought we have to do this immediately. And so Monday night we started reaching out, my group, Initiative Against Anti-Semitism, Atlanta Initiative Against Anti-Semitism. We just started reaching out to people, and we now have a panel of experts ready to answer a community's questions. We're getting a lot of buzz. We've invited the entire Atlanta community, Jews, non-Jews, anyone who's concerned about the rise of hate in schools, which, as you've shown with your statistics, has skyrocketed.
Oh, yeah.
And it should be an amazing night.
Now, you started the Atlanta Initiative. That's where I'm going to stop it to make it not blur on.
Sorry.
You started the Atlanta Initiative, even though you don't like to be referred to as a parents group. That's how it started, as a group of interested parents.
It did. It was 2 years ago. There were cemetery desecrations in Jewish cemeteries. There were bomb threats. It seemed every day you turned on the news and there was another anti-Semitic act. And we thought, this is not the world we want our children to grow up in. We're going to do something. And really, it was just a group of women who were worried that there was no public outrage on this. We wanted to stand up. And more than that, we wanted to get the Atlanta community, all of the community, every ethnicity, not just the Jewish community, together to say, we're a cohesive community and we stand together against hate. And that's what we're doing.
I think this is interesting. You told me you live in the Dunwoody area. We've had issues at North Springs High School that really weren't as heavily publicized for some. But this is nothing new, we're finding.
No.
Correct.
This is absolutely nothing new. What happened at Centennial on Monday is just another example at another local school. We have a Facebook page with more than 4,000 members, and we are constantly getting emails, posts on our Facebook page. This happened at my kids' school. Heil Hitler, swastikas, terrible things that are being said. What do we do? No parent knows what to do when this happens. And frankly, every principal deals with it differently. So you have a North Springs principal who is amazing and proactive. You have a Centennial High School principal who is the same way. These are the best practices. These people are going to be on our panel, and they're going to show parents this is what you can expect when these things happen. This is what you should expect when something happens at your school. You are not alone, and you not have to be isolated.
What do you recommend for the students, for the kids, when they show up at school and something like this happens? How do you tell them to react to this?
Well, I think they need to talk about it. That's the biggest component, is it is not something to be swept under the carpet. And it happens to so many cultures, ethnicities, races, people with sexual identity issues. It encompasses everyone, and that's the message. Everyone needs to be educated and talk about it.
And you have also a daughter who attends a different school.
3 sons, actually.
Oh, you're telling me that. 3 sons. Do you sit down and have a conversation with the whole family when it comes to this?
Yes, I absolutely do. I talked with all 3 of my children, and my 9-year-old actually was concerned it would happen at his school.
Wow.
So I notified his school, and luckily they are on the registry as a no place for hate school through the Anti-Defamation League, which provides many, many, many resources, training programs for educating students in schools.
Now, while hate crimes are federally crimes, I thought this was interesting. You said in Georgia, still not a crime.
Georgia is one of only 5 states that does not have a hate crime law in place. Our group is working with the Anti-Defamation League to change that. There's many groups working on it. We'd really, really like to see this. It's just very important to have this so that when something happens, our communities feel protected.
And you want kids to know, can't do this. This is just not
Yes,
possible.
exactly.
Town hall meeting planned in response to that incident at Centennial High School. An opportunity for parents to actually get out, have their voices heard. Can they ask questions as well, hopefully? Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. It is tonight at Temple Emmanuel at 1580 Spalding Drive in Sandy Springs from 7 until 8:30. If you have any questions, check out the Facebook page. Thank you, ladies, so very much.
Thank you.
And we are just getting started on this edition of Public Affairs on Peach. When we come back, we know the Super Bowl's over, right? We're all getting some sleep finally, but it made a lot of money for our city, including one organization that actually feeds the hungry right here in Metro Atlanta. We'll be right back. Thank you so much.